So the time value of money. Why am I discussing this? Well, in my next video, I'm going to be talking about ways to value a business, whether you're going to sell it or buy it. The concept of time value of money becomes very important during that discussion, but it's a big enough topic that I thought it warranted its own video. The key takeaways that I want you to have are not the specific formulas that are used, but the general concepts. I want you to have a basic understanding of the relationship between time and money, and that these things can be calculated. But not to worry, the actual formulas are things that your accountant can do for you. Now, if you're ready, let's begin. Suppose you put $10,000 into a savings account. Also, suppose that the interest rate is 3%. In 1 year's time, how much will that $10,000 be worth? For the sake of illustration, we are going to assume that the interest is only earned after the full year is up. By following just a simple formula, you can calculate the interest earned will be $300. So the value at the end of the year is $10,300. By using another formula, you can calculate that if you want $10,300 at the end of the year, you know that it's going to earn 3% interest. You can calculate how much you would need today to make that happen. The basic concept here is that you can calculate money forward in time as well as calculating it back to present day. Let's do another quick example. In 1 year's time, if you want $1 million in your savings account and interest is 5%, how much would you need to put into the bank account today? Again, we are assuming that the interest only compounds once in a year. Simple interest. Now, let's kick this up a notch. We're going to assume that we're putting $10,000 into the bank account at 3%, and it's going to compound monthly. And when I say it's going to compound monthly, that means that after the first month, interest is calculated based on the original amount, the principal. Then in the next month, interest is calculated on the original $10,000 plus the interest that you earned during that first month. In each of the following months, interest is calculated on the total of all the interest earned up to that point, along with the original principal, that original $10,000. That seems like a lot of math work. So people who are smarter than I am have figured out that there is a shortcut to this math. Look at this formula here. You can see by this example that the $10,000 earned a little more interest when it was compounded monthly versus when it was compounded only annually. I'm not going to quiz you on the formulas. I just want you to have an understanding of this basic concept. Generally, the more frequently you compound it, the higher the ultimate interest amount is going to be in terms of dollars. And just like with the simple interest formula, we can calculate starting at the end of the year, working backwards to the beginning. Okay, so now it's time to turn it up another notch. Suppose you put $10,000 into the bank at the beginning of this year, and then again at the beginning of the next 2 years. We have formulas that can tell us how much that is going to be at the end of the third year. Here I'm going to show you the Excel version of this formula. I think that very few people would actually want to use the older formulas and crank it out manually. If you use Google Sheets, I'm sure there is a similar formula that you could use. I prefer Excel, so that's what we're using today. A common way this comes up is when you want to value an investment, such as a small business. You start out with a lot of assumptions, then you get to the point where you have annual expected cash flows from that investment. Then you need to figure out what the value is of the cash flows in terms of today's dollars. This example assumes that we could expect different cash flows in each of 5 years. We are assuming that the relevant interest rate is 8%. For each year, we apply a formula to the cash flow. The formula gives us a discount factor, which we multiply against the cash flow. The discount factor for each year is different because it needs to travel back in time a different number of years. The factor times the cash flow is the discounted value for that year's cash flows. Then you add them all up to figure out what the total value is in today's dollars. Believe it or not, there are a lot of formulas that can be based on different situations. And if you are not a financial advisor or an accountant, it can be pretty hard to work with. Today, we're not going to go into the complex formulas. There are a lot of good uses for these types of calculations. For instance, if you wanted to save enough money to amass $1 million, given certain assumptions, you could calculate how much money you would need to save every year to make that happen. Are you ready for our pop quiz? Well, I'm not going to give you a quiz. As I stated earlier, I just want you to have a basic understanding of these concepts. When you watch the video on company valuations, hopefully you will remember the gist of this video. Thank you and have a good day. This has been Managing Your Business by the Numbers. My name is Randy Helm. Thank you for watching this video. If you liked what you saw, be sure to subscribe to this channel and hit the notification bell so that you do not miss out on any new material. Also, please leave a comment down below if there is a topic you would like me to cover. Until next time, have a good day.